It's May 21, 2011 in Palm Desert, and what we have here is a very unlikely nesting site for a mourning dove. It's a mourning dove with her two squabs sitting there in her nest, and they are both probably, I don't know, somewhere around, they could be anywhere from 9 to 10 to 11 days old. They won't be there for long. Anyway, what we're looking at is a ceiling fan on a patio, which is a very unlikely nesting site. In fact, you can see that we put bird spikes up there to keep these rather intellect deficient fowls from building nests up there, and wouldn't you know that she found it was something that she could use to build her nest up against. So that's what we got. She built the nest and laid a couple of eggs. These birds will, their brooding season is from April through September or so, and once they build their rather fragile, thrown together little nest, she and her husband build it together. By the time they have it built, she lays 2 eggs a day or 2 later. Occasionally only 1 egg, even less rare 3 eggs, but so it's 2 eggs, and then they hatch 14 days later, and another 14 days they've flown the coop, and these little babies have shown evidence that they can sort of fly. I've had to help them back up onto the nest a couple of times, and they sort of fly. In any case, this is a terrible place for a nest, but when we saw that the mother was there, what are you going to do? We had to try to help her out. So we built a wall on the end of the patio. Temporary wall, and it's to block the wind, because we get lots of winds out here on occasion, and we have in the last couple of weeks. And so I constructed this dove wind wall. Didn't bother getting approval from the HOA. Screwed some 1x2s into this plywood and holding it in place with cinder blocks, and we've also got bungees that are attaching it to the pillar. When the wind really blows, I lean a heavy stepladder up against it, but it does block the wind, which is the prevailing wind is going away from me here. I'm pointing to the east, and that's the way it blows down the Coachella Valley. So we've got this crazy dove who picked the most unlikely nesting site. You see her head poking up there, and maybe a little bit of the babies. Whoa, she just flew off. She didn't like that. She tolerates me a little bit. In any case, they have other needs too. They got food and water. Well, food, after the babies are born, both mother and daddy dove take turn regurgitating little dove chow out of their crop for the squabs to eat, and they do that for 3 to 5 days. And after that, they supplement their diet with seeds. Well, wouldn't you know, went out and got freaking bird feeder, which all of the neighborhood wrens and finches have discovered too, as well as a number of other doves. My God, it leaves an awful mess. And so this is a new addition to the backyard, and not a very permanent one. After this brooding season, this will go away, I promise you. But we're having to fill this darn thing almost daily. And the word has gotten around the neighborhood. All of the birds are coming and visiting it. They also need water. Well, wouldn't you know, we've got a handy little cement pond here that Mrs. Dove sits right there and dips her beak into the jacuzzi part. So we've just kind of made this dove heaven. Unfortunately, I've done a little research, and they are breeders. They breed like chinchillas. They can brood as many as 6 times a year, but probably it'd be more like 2 or 3 times. So within a week after these little squabs fly away for good, she will kind of renovate her nest a little bit, add a few sticks to it, and go back and do the cycle again. Is that crazy or what? What we have here is a new device which I discovered. Works a whole lot better than the Navigator. This is a Barracuda MX-8, and he's like a little tractor, like a little tank with treads, and he's been moving all over the pool. Very happy. He still hasn't picked up all of the leaves and foliage because it's been really windy lately. Anyway, I highly recommend this guy. He's moving around with a purpose. So there you have it. Nesting doves in Palm Desert, spring of 2011. After this brooding season, I'm thinking we're just gonna leave the fan running. We'll pay the electric bill and not let them do it again. And we're gonna take down that wall. Happy little doves.